Hello?
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, I'm doing fine. How's everything going with you?
Yeah, it's good. I had a really good day at work. Now I'm just at home relaxing, about to cook. How about you?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's been a great day. Just got back, say about an hour ago. I've just been thinking about you, so I decided to call and check on you, know how you're doing.
Oh, thank you. So sweet. Thank you so much for checking on me. You're doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Um, well, that being said, I've been thinking about you lately. I've been thinking about us. I've been thinking about us moving forward, moving to the next level, taking our relationship a step further. And on that note, I just wanted to let you know that you know I've been having these feelings about you. All I'm trying to say is that you know I want us to move to the next level. I want us to take the relationship to a whole new level, and you know take it from there. So that's it.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm so happy to hear you say that because, like, I was actually thinking about you and we're so compatible. We get along so well. And definitely was also thinking about taking our relationship to the next level. But before we do that, I figured now would be the best time to tell you this, and it is that I actually, have a disease called lupus, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about lupus to see, your thoughts and how you felt and everything like that.
Okay. All right. By the way, what's lupus?
Well, lupus. Hi guys! I hope everyone is having a marvelous day. Oh my goodness, I have missed you guys so much. It has been way too long since I've made a video, and that has actually been because of a number of reasons. Unfortunately, I recently suffered from a really serious lupus flare. I had to go to the hospital and I've just been resting and recovering. I actually thought that it was just a sinus headache and, I was just going to wake up like the next day and feel better. But the headache never went away, and then it turned into other symptoms, and I basically had to go to the hospital, and it was determined that I was having a flare. So it was no bueno, no fun at all, you guys. But those of you with lupus and those of you with other diseases, you know how it is. We have our ups and downs, but as long as we pick ourselves up and get right back on our feet, that is all that matters. So I am back. I am ready to go. I am ready to rumble, and I am so excited about this video today. So today I am going to be talking about a very difficult conversation that those of us with lupus and those of us with other diseases are eventually going to have. And that is, how do we tell people that we have lupus? Or how do we tell people, and when do we tell people that we have a disease? Okay, so this is a difficult conversation. It is not very fun, but of course it is one that we will have to have at one time or another. And sometimes we're going to have these conversations many times with many different people. How many of you have experienced a time where you've had to have a conversation that you just have dreaded? And you're like, I really don't want to have this conversation, but I have to. It's okay, you can go ahead and raise your hands. I know that all of us have had that at one point or another. Well, I am going to make it a little bit easier for you, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks so that you guys can have those conversations and it can go smoothly. Also, guys, please remember to visit me on my blog, taliastipsandtricks.com, and also I am going to be posting more YouTube videos about a variety of topics, so be sure to like, subscribe, and comment so that you never miss a video. Okay, so first topic. How and when do we tell our family members that we have lupus? Well, in my opinion, family members are the easiest people to tell, and these should be the very first people that you tell about lupus or about your disease. And a lot of times your family and your spouse, they're going to be the first ones to know anyway. If you happen to find out that you have a disease similar to how I did, which is I had to be rushed to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack, then of course your family members are going to be notified. Your spouse is most likely already going to be there, so they will be able to go through the journey with you, and as the doctors are giving you information, they'll have that information as well. To me, your family is your rock. Your family is your support system. They are going to be the ones, especially when you're first diagnosed with your disease, they're going to be the ones to help you out with research, to help you find the right doctor, a good doctor for you, to help you with diet or lifestyle changes that you may need to make. So they are basically your support system. So you're definitely going to want to tell your family members and your spouse right away because you are going to need support. Trust me when I say it is extremely difficult to go through something like lupus or to even go through, something like a disease. If you have another disease, it's extremely difficult to go through that alone, you guys. So you're definitely going to want a really strong support system, and that starts with your family. So in my opinion, go ahead and tell your family right away. Okay, so what about friends? If you're like me, then you have two sort of different levels of friends. I have really good friends that I basically tell everything to. I've known them for a long time. They know me. I can trust them. I've shared things with them in the past that were sensitive or that were personal, and I felt like, I was able to openly express myself and they were supportive. So those types of friends, like your really good friends, your best friends, I would actually tell them after my family, because these are also going to be the people that are going to support you throughout your disease. And especially when you're first getting diagnosed, it's very difficult. You have a lot of questions. You're going to go through like a roller coaster of emotions. So you're going to need someone to talk to. You're going to need someone who understands and who can help you through these hard, difficult times. So I would definitely say, after family, those really good friends, those personal friends, you know who they are in your life, definitely go ahead and tell them next. Now, the second layer of friends. These are friends that you're not really that close to. Maybe you hang out with them every once in a while, or you guys may talk on the phone or something like that, or text or whatever every once in a while, but they don't necessarily know a lot of personal details about your life. You guys are just sort of buddies or acquaintances. I would say that you should just really use your best judgment if you decide to tell these people, or if you don't decide to tell these people, that's okay too, because they're not necessarily within your close circle. And I know that discussing this topic and having these conversations can be very difficult. So I would say basically follow your heart if you feel like it's a good idea to tell this circle of friends about your disease, then yeah, go ahead, feel free to share them. But I know some people are a little bit more like introverted and they don't really like to tell a lot of their personal business. So if that's you with this circle of friends, you know, I would say be a little bit more cautious, and maybe you might decide that you don't want to tell them at all. So just basically use your best judgment there. Okay, so how about your job? Ooh, this is a difficult one, right? This is going to be a very difficult conversation. First of all, guys, on the lupus.org website, it actually says that you're not obligated to tell your employer about your disease. So you definitely don't have to tell them or don't have to disclose this information if you choose not to, according to that website. But definitely always do your research, guys, and figure out what is the best path for you to go down for yourself. Also, I would say that if you're like me and you found out about your disease or about lupus suddenly, then you're probably going to have to tell your job like immediately. Because in my case, I actually, when I was rushed to the hospital, like I couldn't work. It was actually a weekday. So that day I wasn't showing up to work. So of course, you know, they're going to ask where I am and they're going to know that I'm not there. So of course, like they had to be notified right away that I wasn't going to be at work and why. But if your disease is like a disease that develops slowly, or your lupus symptoms aren't that severe at first and it kind of like develops over time, you may choose to tell your employer, you may choose not to tell your employer. Just do your research and figure out like the best option for you. Some reasons why you may want to tell your employer is because you may need different or special accommodations at work after you get diagnosed with your disease. For instance, if you have lupus, you may be sensitive to light, so you might have to change your lighting or, you know, the glares on your computer screens and things like that. You may have to change your keyboard. You may have to ask for reduced hours or a more flexible schedule, or the ability to work from home some days. You may have to take more frequent breaks. So all of those changes that you're going to have to request from your employer may definitely be a reason why you would lean towards telling your employer, especially if you need special accommodations. But like I said, guys, please do your research. Look at the Americans with Disability Act. Do your research on things like FMLA, disability, and things like that. And just know your rights as far as your job is concerned. Okay, so here is the infamous conversation, and that is dating. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so when do you tell the person you're dating that you have lupus or you have another disease? Okay, so this is a very tricky conversation, you guys. This is also a very emotional conversation as well, or it can become emotional. So in my personal opinion, if you're just going out with this person like 1 or 2 times, like you're really just starting to date them and starting to get to know them, me personally, I would hold off on telling them that I have lupus. And my reasonings for that is that I would want to get to know this person more. I would want to make sure, you know, things are actually going to become serious and we're going to take it to the next level, and we're definitely planning on, you know, being in a serious relationship. And for me, like 1 or 2 dates or 3 dates, you know, the very beginning stages of dating, that's just not enough time to really get to know someone to determine if you're really going to be with that person or not long term most times. So for me, those like beginning stages are just, you know, you're still getting to know each other, but I would save like the more personal conversations like about your disease to a time when you're really sure that you guys are going to take it to the next level and you're going to really start a serious relationship. That's just me. But like I said, you guys, with these, you know, tips and everything, do what's best for you. Everybody's situation is different. You may be the type of person that would like to tell the person that you're dating like on the first date, just to like get it out the way, just so that they know and everything like that. So if that's you, that's okay too. And actually, I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know when you think it's appropriate to tell the person that you're dating about your disease. But me personally, that's how I would deal with it. Now, I would not wait forever, you guys. Like, don't wait like, you know, a year or 6 months or something like that, you know, to tell the person that you're dating about your disease. For me, I personally feel like that's unfair. I feel like that's not, you weren't being like totally honest with them, and by that time you've probably developed like some really strong feelings. So at the time that, you know, really strong feelings start to get involved, you really start to like this person, you know, and you can see this being with this person long term, I would definitely say at that time, tell them as quickly as possible. Don't like drag it on or try to hide it or things like that, because then you're just being, you know, dishonest and I think a little bit unfair. So then the question is, well, what if after I tell them they reject me or they dump me or they tell me they no longer want to date me? So I know that that is a very difficult situation and it's painful and it's sad and you're hurt. But if that does happen, guys, I would say, although it's painful, just know that that wasn't the person that God like meant for you to be with anyway. Because, you know, the person that you're meant to be with is going to accept your condition, is going to love you for you no matter what, is going to be with you through those ups and downs, and just, you know, be really understanding and compassionate. And so, you know, if the person that you're dating decides after you tell them, okay, you know, I can't deal with this, or this is really not my cup of tea, then, you know, just know that it was a blessing, because God has someone much better for you and better suited for you in, you know, coming to you in the future. So although it's hurt and you have, although it hurts and you definitely have the right to be in your feelings, you have the right to be sad, you have the right to be upset and everything like that. And I do understand that, especially if you really, really like the person, but don't stay in that negative space, you know, forever. Don't beat yourself up. Don't think that you're a failure. Don't, you know, be sad, you know, about your disease, or, you know, ask yourself, why am I so different? Why me? Things like that. You know, just don't stay in that negative space. Know that God has someone better for you in the future that will be there for you and that will help you through your ups and downs. So just take that perspective and I think you'll have a much better outcome. And in the meantime, you know, while you're waiting for your wonderful man or woman to appear, just, you know, do things like practice positive thinking, practice the law of attraction, you know, pray, meditate, visualize your perfect spouse, the perfect husband, the perfect wife, the perfect significant other. You know, do things like that to prepare your mind and to change your energy so that, you know, that person comes into your life. So those are things that you can do if you happen to have a breakup after you have the discussion with your, or about your disease. Okay, so how about strangers? Do you tell strangers that you have lupus? When is it appropriate? Let's discuss that. So first of all, you guys, you do not want to be like shouting from the rooftops, letting everybody know about your disease. Every time you meet a person, you do not have to tell them you have lupus, okay? So I would say, you know, like if you're standing in line in the grocery store or pumping gas, you don't have to say, hey, ma'am, sir, do you know I have lupus? Do you know I have such and such disease? Like, I just feel that that's really unnecessary, you guys. But let's say you meet a stranger and, you know, maybe you guys happen to start a conversation and then somehow you start talking about health, or somehow the topic of lupus comes up and you let them know you have lupus. I do feel like in these instances it is appropriate, and I've actually met strangers like this. I've told, you know, people I've had lupus, and we've had really great discussions and really good dialogue back and forth about lupus. So I think it could be a really great learning opportunity for, you know, you to teach them more about the disease, them to teach you if they know anything about the disease. And also this is a great way to like spread awareness. A lot of times when I tell people I have lupus, they'll say things like, you know, oh, my sister has lupus, or my cousin has lupus, or I know a guy with lupus or a woman with lupus or something like that. So it's, you know, really interesting, and it really starts a really good dialogue. So if you happen to meet a stranger that way, then yeah, go ahead. If you're comfortable and if you feel okay with it, go ahead and let them know you have lupus, because it spreads awareness, and the more awareness we spread, the more research can be done, and the closer we are to finding a cure. However, if you're not comfortable, that's totally fine as well. Like I said, I know how difficult it is to have this discussion. All right, you guys, so I hope you enjoyed these tips and tricks. As you can see, telling someone about lupus can be a very difficult conversation, but with this video, I hope you learned how to have easier conversations and how the conversation can go a little bit more smoothly, and the appropriate time to tell different people in your life about your disease. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and come back for more. Visit my blog, Talia's Tips and Tricks, and also visit my YouTube channel and subscribe, Talia TV channel. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.